Well, hopefully that works.
Hey y'all. Okay, so hey, welcome to Tuesday training this week. We are today we are taking you on a tour. So we are going to show you it's our first property, though we aren't owners in it, but it gave us all the experience, and it gave us a good taste of real estate. So that's what we're going to do today for Tuesday training, because we're in the middle of renovating it. So we wanted to kind of show you, oh, there we go. Now we got people coming on.
There we go.
It wasn't working before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're getting it to work now.
Okay. So yeah, we are going to take you inside of this property. It's the first one that we ever bought. Now, we technically did everything that a JV would do, but we don't have an interest in it. It's my parents' property. So hey guys, hey. Yeah, we're on site.
Hi Melanie. Hi Rachel. Hello everybody.
Dennis.
Brian. Good to see you guys.
In the trenches. Absolutely.
This was, and we thought that this would be a good lesson because this property actually taught us a lot of lessons. We learned how to deal with tenants. Tiffany learned how to screen tenants, how to put them in, how to do up leases, how to do move-in reports, how to do all of that kind of stuff. And it all started here. And that was back when? Back in 2001. So
yeah,
a long time ago now.
So,
hello everybody.
So here's the deal. It is not our property, but we were rollerblading because we actually lived not far from here. We were rollerblading through. We had just sold my family's home that I grew up in, and my parents had a little bit of money. My dad wanted to put it into something, and so we wanted to make sure it was in real estate. We had already, read Rich Dad Poor Dad and knew the real estate was it. Hey guys, yay! Everyone's saying hello. I love it. Yeah. I get to see everyone.
We didn't get to see all the comments last week. For some reason, it wasn't working, but
it's
so much better when we see the comments and see your faces going across the screen.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Okay, so we found this place rollerblading. There's so many things that we learned from it. We were able to, deal directly with the seller because she was a for sale by owner. We were able to, again, like Corey said, we learned how to manage tenants, find tenants. A lot of our tenants came from, there's a little walkable shopping area not far from here. Transit is right here.
Grocery store, banks,
little high-end
drugstores,
Italian,
you
sushi
name
places.
it.
Yeah. So
location is fantastic.
Yes, which is a good thing, because let me tell you something else. When we first bought in here, the reason we fell in love with this was because there was all these beautiful big willow trees. They were gorgeous,
right,
these weeping willow trees. And about 5 years after we bought, the roots started going into the sewer system, and they had to cut them all down. Every single one in this magical enchanted forest of a condo, and now it's bare. But thank goodness we were saved because we had bought still in the right location. Again, the things that you learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey Stacy, hey Andrea, hey.
Great to see y'all.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna take you on a tour.
Let's go
today.
inside because it's slightly raining here, and we're getting rained on a little bit. And
yes, and there's still snow on the ground.
There's still snow on the ground. Yeah. So let's
go inside. Let's tour the property. What we're going to do.
So here's the deal.
Random.
Yes, we're going to kind of just talk about some of the experiences we've learned from this particular property, and it's taught us a lot. And this, like we said, was one of the first ones that we ever had an involvement in, that we learned a lot of lessons from. So we're going to go through, pick apart so many different aspects as to what we've learned from this. So hopefully there's one or two things that you might be able to benefit from.
Hey Paula and Danielle.
Okay, you ready?
And I'm just going to give one more caveat before we go in.
Okay.
This is a construction zone.
Yes. And it's not done. We're halfway through.
Yeah, and because it's my parents, and because we're under quarantine right now, or whatever, self-isolation. For those watching this later, we're in the middle of COVID. So, because of that, we're doing all the work ourselves. So it is Redneck City. So welcome to our Redneck renovation. My dad is the best redneck
You might be watching,
ever.
so be
quiet. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
He's not on Facebook.
That's true.
Anyways,
hey, Justin.
so let's go inside.
Okay, let's go inside. I'm going to switch this camera, and we're going to follow Tiff, okay?
Hey,
so let's see how this works. All right. Now, if I turn...
No.
Yeah, don't worry. It's coming. It's coming. I'm following you. Okay, you're good to go.
All right. So, sorry. So if you can see the flooring, I don't know if you can see the flooring, but the flooring, this tells you how old the condo is. I don't know if you can see. This was underneath, of course, carpet that was here. But that flooring is original. So we're talking a condo from, I'm going to say, I don't even know really, but
it was built, I think, 78,
70s,
77, 78, 76, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Okay, so come on up.
Okay.
So,
we're going a little wonky, but it's coming back. We're coming back. Okay, there we go.
This gimbal thing. Justin, we could pick your brain on it. You can help us with that. Are you gonna put it on there? No.
Okay. Okay, we'll switch it back.
So we're gonna show you the renovation.
Hang on, guys. We're getting set up here.
This is new to us, if you cannot tell. There
Okay, where are we? We're down here.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's talk lessons.
Okay.
What have we learned?
Okay, so first things first. You know what we did with this one? Again, we have zero equity in this place, but we have treated it. I've managed it for 20 years. We've treated it as if our own. And, you know, Corey's point was, you know, that's a great way to get experience. I learned that this is exactly where I learned how to first put tenants in a place, market to tenants, do showings. I mean, it was great because the guinea pig was not my money, but it was my dad's, which was probably more important to me than my own. But it's a great avenue. So if you're just starting out in real estate, you know, find someone who needs some help and volunteer your time. Again, 20 years of time. Again, it's family, so it's different. But I learned more off of this place than I can ever imagine. And the confidence that gave me to go forward in talking to investors and talking to other people, you know, I was able to speak to a lot of things from firsthand experience when we started looking for joint venture partners.
So here's the deal, guys. This was a property, like Tiff said, that her parents owned. Her parents were not around to be able to manage it at the time. So Tiffany took on management. Tiffany said, well, listen, I will find the tenants. I will do all the work. I will do all of this stuff. Now, we had no interest in the property. We still don't have any interest in the property as far as percentage ownership or equity or anything like that. But what this enabled us to do at the very beginning was gain experience.
And confidence.
We learned how to advertise for tenants. We learned how to show the property to tenants. We learned how to do a move-in report, to sign up a lease, to collect rent, to deposit rent, to deal with tenant issues, to do renovations. I mean, we've been in here how many times and painted and done those sorts of things.
But like, how do I do a lease? What's the legal requirements of doing a lease? Like when you first start out, you don't know those things. And those are all things you have to get in order. So, you know, it's one thing for you to learn that on a property that you're joint venturing for the first time with someone, or when you're buying 2 or 3 at a time or something. But for me, you know, it was an easy transition because this was our first one that we had ever been involved with. So we were able to go ahead and, okay, now I had a lease. Now I knew the legalities of doing a move-in report. You know, now I knew how to market and where I, like, probably was in the newspaper at the time. And the little drugstore had a community board right across the street here. And, you know, I learned how to market to tenants, and I learned how to, you know, take a deposit legally and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, for experience, hands down, it is amazing. So I would even offer to do showings for people who have properties for rent so that they don't have to be doing the running. I would say, you do 2 showings with me and I will do the rest. Don't pay me, I'll be your gopher. Just to gain the experience.
And that is so valuable because a lot of times we're talking to people who want to get into real estate investment, want to get into joint venturing, want to bring on partners, that sorts of things. And they say to us, but I don't have any experience doing it. Is this something I can do? Yet I don't have any experience. Go out there and get some experience. And that's really what this property here was enabled us to do. It enabled us to get one property under our belt. And yes, like we said, we didn't have any equity in it. We weren't getting paid for it. But how much value came from learning those lessons, from doing all of those things that you need to do to manage a property. Yeah. Even negotiating the property, to buy it, to help your parents to do that. So all of those things were so valuable. So even though, yes, we don't at the end of the day have any equity in it and we're not paying cash flow, so important, the experience.
Okay, so now here's the deal. 20 years later, almost 20 years later, we are now renovating it for the first time, and we've done painting through the years for sure, but we're now renovating it for the first time, and with COVID, we are doing everything ourselves, which has actually been super fun. I've really enjoyed it. But here's the thing, when you're renovating a place, there's a huge difference between what you're gonna do if you're renovating it to sell it, and if you're renovating it to rent it. So we are renovating this to rent it now and sell it within the next 5 years-ish. So what do we do that's different? So we're gonna walk you around and kind of let you know what we're doing in here, what's the decision-making kind of process that goes along with it. You know, what colors are we putting in? What did we paint? You know, what flooring? What carpet are we using, all of that kind of stuff. Now, is it right? Is it the only or best way? Totally not. There's lots of different ways. This is just what we're choosing to do, and we're going to show you why and how we're choosing to do that, so that if you want to learn from it, you can. So we are choosing, again, I'll be very clear, we are not renovating this place to sell it right now. If we were, there's a few extra things that we would be doing, and we're going to walk you through them as we go through. I'm also going to show you how do you hide the ugliest part of a property. If you've got a great property, like I have lots of them. How many did we buy that we probably shouldn't have bought? And you know, I had to do showings on them for years and years and years. Yeah. And some of them had, you know, they would be great. They'd have lots of wow here and there, and then they'd have like one ugly, ugly spot. What do you do? Do you hide it? Do you cover it? What do you do? I'll show you the trick, and it's fantastic. It's magic. Anyways,
okay,
yeah.
So maybe we should talk a little bit about tenant demographic first, because that is really the key, the tenant demographic. And if you are planning to sell, who's the demographic that you're going to sell that property to? So let's talk about this property. What would you say in this particular property is the tenant demographic that you're going for?
Okay, so thank you for bringing that.
And before we answer that, on this property, why is tenant demographic, knowing that before doing a renovation, so important? So important. So we learned this. We bought one property that was, in my eyes, just so gaudy and so ugly. Like, it was terrible. Which one was that?
48.
Okay, yeah.
But the reason why it was because it had oak cabinets in the kitchen and oak floors, oak hardwood floors. I thought that was the ugliest thing in the world. The older gentleman that we bought it from had put all of that in himself brand new. But get this, our tenant demographic for that place became seniors. And guess who loves, because there's no stairs, so it's perfect. It's ground access, no stairs getting in or out, no stairs throughout the whole place. So guess who absolutely loved that place? Because it's oak, and oak meant money and quality and all that kind of stuff. So we learned really quickly that before you start changing things, because I would have ripped that stuff out, or I wanted to, I don't think we could afford it, I would have at least painted over the cabinets probably. But what I learned from that, and through the years, is that you start with your tenant demographic. So who am I going to rent this place to? So if it's going to be an older person, what would they like? It doesn't matter what you like. It doesn't matter what's on trend. That doesn't matter to them. What is it that the people that will be renting this matter? So this place, as you saw when we brought you in the front entranceway, has 1 million stairs. You walk up the stairs to get in from the front, there's maybe 8. To go to the washroom, you'd have to go down 8 and then another 6. So anyone with knee problems, anyone with hip problems, older people, they are not going to be in this place. Therefore, I am not renovating with them in mind. There is no yard. There's a deck, but there's no fenced yard. I'm also probably not going to get young families. I'm not going to get people with kids that want, can throw their kids in the yard and let them play. Even pets might be a little bit more difficult because, again, there's no fenced in yard, right? Absolutely. So who am I going to be marketing to? That's what I'm going to consider first, both in my renovation and to, when I look around and decide what finishings I'm going to choose. So in this case, I'm going to be marketing to a young, trendy couple. They're, starting out in their careers. They're making decent money, but they're not quite there yet. They want the lifestyle. They want the walkability. They want all the amenities, the sushi and the high-end Italian and the farmer's market, and they want all that stuff. But they might not be able to afford, where they really want to live. So I'm going to be that in between for them. So what do they want? And because really this is only a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, you're not going to have a family of 4 or 5 people living here. So really you're looking for the couple, maybe the younger couple or middle-aged couple, the ones that don't mind going up and down the stairs. Yeah. Maybe somebody with 1 child or a roommate or something along those lines. So it's going to be someone that's who we would be renting to a property like this. Generally speaking, someone under 30. And so because of that, that's who we painted for. So let's talk about that. Should we talk about that? Okay, first of all, just one point, because I see this all the time, and especially when I was doing the realtor side of things, I would see people do a renovation and
every place they renovated, they would put in the granite countertops. They would change and put in brand new cabinets, and they would do the high-end, tile instead of lino or whatever. All of those things, we see it so often that people spend far too much money on a renovation. Why? Because it's stuff that they like, or because it's something they saw on TV, or it's something that is super in trend and they think that everybody's going to like it, but they spend too much money on the renovation, and then when they go to try to flip it or they go to try to sell it, they've put too much money in and they don't end up making any money on their flip. Yeah. So, and same thing with rent. You know, whether this property here, because we know who we're going to rent it to, whether it has granite countertops or not, is quite frankly irrelevant. So why would we spend the extra $2,000 on putting in the granite countertops when we do not have to? So these are decisions that you make along the way. And these are decisions that you make once you understand who your tenant demographic is, once you understand who you are eventually going to sell to. Are they going to be able to afford what you're putting in there? And is it even necessary?
Yeah, are you going to get a return on your investment? Now remember that return on investment can include, well, if you sell it really fast, or if you rent it out really quickly, because there's wow factor and there's pizzazz to it, then you're not going to have the holding costs and the vacancies, and that is a return on your investment as well. So you have to take those things into account. But at the end of the day, you want to look at the big picture and, am I going to get my money back for doing all this work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
hey Tracy.
So as we go through this, guys, if you have questions or you see something or we say something and you're a little unsure, or you have some questions, let us know. And if for some reason we miss it, because there's only a few, I can see them.
Okay.
There's only a few questions that show up on the screen. If we miss it, we will get to it on the replay. So just, and we will tag you for it. So if you have questions as we do this, definitely let us know and we'll do our best to answer them, okay?
So we're at the stage right now in this renovation where we've just finished paint, like literally an hour ago, just finished paint. So interestingly, I had a designer kind of consult with us and talk to us about what's coming up and what's up and coming. Now, because we are planning to sell this in 5 years, if I was planning to sell this today, I probably would have painted it gray. That's where it's at right now. That's what's trendy. That's what looks great. That's what everyone's looking for. But you know what? That's not when we're going to be selling it. And what's trendy, what's coming on trend for the demographic that we're looking at. Remember, I'm not talking to older people. I'm not talking to, people that are 40-ish that would maybe find this bland. But what's coming in is that light pastel with a white trim. So the wine bar, dark cabinets with dark everything, that's on its way out a long time ago. Like our house. Yeah, 15 years ago renovation, right?
Yeah.
So like what we're doing is not what I like or don't like. It's not about me. It's about what's going to work for who's looking at this. And what we took into account with this place was we also wanted to know what would be on trend in about 5 years. And you start seeing those trends about 5 years ahead. And so we did go with the color that we chose, and again, it was a designer that chose it for us.
Because you're seeing like beiges and that sort of thing are starting to come back
white
a little
on
bit
white.
more. The gray is starting to disappear a little bit. The beiges are starting to come back. And so we kind of did a mixture of both in this place, right?
So
that was kind of decision making.
This is considered a greige. And if you've heard that term, it's the gray and the beige mix. So that beige, that white, that open, very airy look is coming back, not the dark, cozy that was in. It's that open look. Now, to me, this is renter beige. This is what we got away from when we first started buying properties, and probably what it was when we first took it over and got rid of it. Yeah. But this is, so it's Benjamin Moore, and it's called Gray Mist. Yeah. Okay, Benjamin Moore, Gray Mist.
Now it's called gray, but to me it looks nothing like gray.
Yeah, can you show against the wall?
Sure. Do you want to walk around a little bit? Or?
Julie? Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, guys, let's go and have a look at a few things.
That's the color that you use for your flips too, Leanna? Yeah. Our designer who did our house and whatever has helped us a lot. She was like,
I'll
trust me on this.
switch the camera so we can see a little bit more of the place here.
And can you zoom out or no?
I can't really zoom out, no.
Yeah, okay.
Or do you want to show this stuff down here?
Oh, sure. Okay, so here's the flooring we're putting in. This flooring is, what's it called again? Centurity, Quality Craft. And the color is Anchorage. And as you can see, I don't know, hopefully can they see?
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's got some black in it. So it's got some gray black, and it's got some beige yellowy as well. So this is again kind of a greige. Whether we went gray or went beige, this is going to be in. Now again,
you just invented a word, greige.
No, I didn't. No,
okay.
And again, it's a vinyl plank. But this is one thing that too we learned. So my dad, I love my dad. My mom's watching. I saw her come on. But my dad, don't do that. That's my notes. Yeah, that's right. My dad, was going to go to Lowe's and get stuff. And I'm like, no, Dad, please just let me go shopping as soon as I'm off quarantine. I'll go to one place. And so for those of you who are in Edmonton, we went to Carpet Superstore, talked to Jason in the north one. And this vinyl plank, it's got a plastic core, it's got all this stuff. My dad went to Lowe's. It was way cheaper quality, way worse quality. It was the floppy stuff, so it felt like it was gonna be way better to work with. But all in, with the underlay on it, so you don't have to buy that separate. Without the underlay, the quote looked like Lowe's was cheaper. With the underlay, you go to a professional carpet installer place or flooring installing place, and this stuff ended up being the exact same price. It's easier to install. It's got that plastic core or whatever it's called.
So what's the benefit of the plastic core? The plastic core, well, the biggest benefit is that it's I don't know if it's waterproof, but it's water resistant, right? So if water gets in the underneath or in between the grooves, it's not going to expand. It's not going to have those ugly lines that you have within the seams. And so it's perfect for bathrooms. It's great for kitchens, all that kind of stuff.
And again,
and throughout the whole house.
And this is super trendy. Not trendy, I don't want to say trendy, but it's on trend in that my tenant demographic, my young couple, my teenager or roommates that are going to be looking for this place are going to walk in and love the look of it. Okay, so again, that was it's Anchorage. I know is the color, and it's Century Quality Craft. Okay, in the basement, should we show them the basement?
Sure.
And why we have to do that?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go. I'll follow you.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. It's kind of working. I'm not sure why it has a mind of its own sometimes.
We're just learning how to use that thing.
It likes to go its own way. Okay, there we go. Here we go.
Okay, so this, I don't normally like condos or anything that have basements.
Let's go back to the vinyl flooring quickly. I saw a couple questions.
Okay, sure.
What's the cost per square foot of that stuff?
If you are if you are an investor, you can generally speaking get contractors rates. That's for paint, that's for carpet. Once you're an investor and have a company name, that you don't need to prove anything else. So with the contractor rate, which is between 20 and 30% off for most things, it came to $324, not including installation. So my dad's going to be installing it himself. So it was $324 a square foot, and that included the underlay. The one at Lowe's, I believe it was $275, which seemed cheaper. But then if you add in the underlay
and extra work laying the underlay first, and then you have to So okay, awesome.
Okay, any other questions about that?
No, I think that's it. I haven't seen any other questions. If I missed something, guys, just let me know. A lot of people are commenting how vinyl floor is awesome. Neutral is the safest way to go, Leanna says.
And Leanna knows. She does amazing, beautiful flips. If you guys haven't seen her stuff, you should check it out.
Stacy, waterproof, no expansion, very sturdy for rentals. Yeah, so people are liking the color, that sort of thing. So yeah. Okay,
good. So now here's the thing. I would love to put that throughout. If I had a main floor unit, bedrooms on the main floor, I would be doing vinyl plank throughout. However, because this is a basement, it's kind of a basement. If you take a look though, you can barely tell because the windows, I mean, I'm only 5 feet tall and the windows are already
4'11", right?
I'm 5 feet tall and the windows are here. So yeah, you can barely tell. But because of that, we're putting carpet in the basement so that we don't, because it's going to be chilly. It's going to be chilly on people's feet. So
this entire project, I saw another question from Grant. What's our budget for the entire project? How much do you think is being spent? So flooring is all being replaced in the entire place. Baseboards, lighting, and paint, and one appliance.
One appliance, yeah.
And one faucet.
Yeah, we're going to explain why only one appliance, and we're going to explain why we're not replacing the bathroom, because when you see the bathroom in a minute, you're going to ask us why.
Okay.
So our budget for that.
Total budget would probably be between 5,000 and 6,000, would you say? Okay.
We would really like to keep it under 5,500.
Okay, so there you go, Grant. This whole thing can be done, and again, this is because we're doing it ourselves. So if we're hiring a contractor, I would probably add at least another 4,000 or 5,000 on top of that. Usually half the money is spent on your materials, and another half would be spent on labor. So this might be a $10,000 project if we were hiring a contractor. If we're doing it ourselves, it's going to be around 5,000. Again, we're doing it because we have the time. We can't go. We've been here and at home for the last how long? So
my dad would be doing this himself anyway.
Yeah.
For sure. So, but usually our places we get them done, and so it's more substantial. But yeah, for cost only of the materials, it's going to be about 5,500.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're putting in carpet. So again, it's kind of that, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of that grayish. It's got some gray and it's got some beige.
Maybe hold it up, because when I go down, the lighting gets bad.
If I do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like this, okay?
There we go, that's a little better. Okay.
And
good, so that looks...
It's really durable, even though it looks like it's kind of cheap crap, it's not.
Yeah, you can see the beige in it, you can see the gray in it. It's kind of got a mixture of both.
This one that we're doing, it's Cabana Life, so Shaw Cabana Life. It's kind of a line or a style.
So Shaw is the manufacturer, Cabana Life is the line.
Is the line, yeah.
Okay.
And they always have good lines, and they're better quality. They're almost like a commercial kind of grade, but again, shoot, I don't know the price on this one. Oh, I can look it up. I have it. I have the estimate.
Okay.
The color is $745. That's
okay. Color is $745. Good.
So that's what we're doing. Again, is it the best colors? No, but this is the new palette that we've been moving to. So this is the second place that we've done these colors in, just in the last year. And again, it's based on tenant demographic as well as saleability. We've had our properties for a long time. My dad's going to be starting to liquidate them, so there's a lot of consideration. So
Wayne just said, Wayne Hillier, he just said, I'm trying to see what number is across the path. I think Gabby used to live in your rental.
Really?
So this place is 6455,
Yeah.
Wayne.
That's so funny.
That would be hilarious.
It's so funny what a small world it is.
Yeah.
There was one that we almost bought over here, 6451, and that was rented by another investor, and he offered it to us for just take over the mortgage, and he just was walking, and that was years ago. Yeah, it's crazy. So many.
So one question here. Ask Kelly. Would you ever do heated floors?
That's Andrea.
It says ask Kelly. Ask Kelly.
Yeah, that's Andrea.
Andrea. Oh, okay.
That's Andrea.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
pretty sure.
Might be. I can't really tell.
Would I do heated floors? There is that electric stuff that you can put like underneath or whatever. Probably not. Just maintenance and any issues that come up for tenants. Like if I was living in it, maybe. Although I don't like electricity stuff, so probably not. But
so we wouldn't do heated floors in here. Why? For one, you're going to get extra cost. Am I going to get extra rent from it? Probably not. Can I rent the place a little quicker? Maybe. That's debatable.
Cool.
Could I sell it a little quicker? Maybe. That's debatable. Those kind of things do help in the sale of it, but not necessarily in the rent of it. Are we going to cash flow more because we spent an extra $1,000 or $2,000 putting in heated floors? Probably not. So it's probably not going to make a difference in rent.
For me, what I think about all the time now, because I learned this the hard way, is every little thing that you provide, remember, you're now responsible to maintain it. Mm-hmm. So if you have a water softener, if you have a water filter, if you have a fridge that has water dispenser, all of those things are one more thing to go wrong, and you're responsible to fix that.
Yeah.
So the less things, the simpler, the better.
And square feet of the property, Leona, it's actually not much. I think the entire place is about 800 square feet up and down.
Okay, well the carpet is going to be like 450 square feet.
Yeah.
And
so maybe 900, 1,000 square feet at the most, absolute most, and that's divided between 2 floors. So.
But it's that layout that gives it that open, wide look. So we're going to show you the upstairs a little bit more and tell you again what we're doing, what we're not doing. Trying to be cognizant of the time. It's already halfway through. So.
Wayne says that he lived in 6453. Gabby lived in 6455.
No way.
That's where we met and fell in love, he says.
6455.
Yeah.
She lived in ours.
Yeah, I guess so.
No way. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's crazy. That's where we
Small
met
world.
and fell in love. And you guys are the cutest too.
12 years ago, he says.
Yeah,
awesome.
Well, it would have been, oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, small world.
It's a small world. Okay, so you're gonna recognize this then, Wayne. So here, come on over here. Okay, so I was gonna show them the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm coming.
So this bathroom is terrible. It's terrible.
Do you like this bathroom,
I
Tiff?
hate this bathroom.
Okay.
It should be ripped out. But again, being budget conscious, my parents live off of this money, and you know, I come from an immigrant family where we are, you know, very, very careful with our money. He came here with nothing, so we have to always remember that. This is the bathroom.
Okay.
So it's construction site, it's dirty. But what's the first thing that you notice about this bathroom?
Okay.
For me,
just let people have a look here for a sec.
What's the first thing that stands out
that you notice about this bathroom?
That's bad. It's bad. It's okay to say it's bad.
Okay. All right. We've had a good look at it now.
Okay. So 20-second delay. So you shall see.
So what do you guys think about this bathroom?
Did you show that? Like nastiness. Like it's just gross.
Well, that's
I know. It's just clean.
Cover, but yeah, it's not the nicest bathtub.
But let me tell you, while we're waiting for answers.
Okay.
A lot of times.
Dated color of tub, Leanna says.
Yeah, totally. And a lot of times, the worst part of your property is...
The horrible tile, Tracy says. The tiles in tub, Yanga.
Yay!
Grout, Chantal.
Can you imagine?
Very dirty, Leanna says. Well, it would definitely be clean before we get it rented. And remember, we are in the middle of a renovation. But yes, you guys are right.
So here's the deal. In many places, especially those that are older that we've bought, this alone is $4,000 to make nicer. Because you got to rip out the walls. Half the time when you take them apart, they're all rotted in behind and blah, blah, blah. And again, that's not something that we would do ourselves. It would be hired out. So it costs a lot of money. And even if you put a tub surround on top of it, there's just water gets behind you. 2 years later, you get the call. Like, it's just nightmare if you ask me.
Dated, small, dark, the vanity, tub is super nasty, old tub, dark grout, tile for sure, the whole shower. People don't like your bathroom, Tiff.
Okay, so I'm going to show you a trick, okay?
Okay, what's your trick?
This is a side note. Again, this is a side note. I didn't learn this from this one. I learned this on a different property, but I've used it for years and it works great. Now, here's the deal. Lots of investors will try to hide that. Okay?
Hide it, yeah.
Hide it and not tell people. What happens if you go and do that? What happens is you get people moved in, you start doing your move-in inspection, they see it and they're like, oh, well, we didn't realize that, or, you know, whatever it might be. Now you've created a bad relationship with a tenant that you're now going to have to deal with for at least the next year, hopefully longer, and you've kind of been deceitful. So this is what I do, and this works beautifully. Now, I came here today, again, for anyone watching later, we're in the middle of COVID, so resources are very minimal. So, and in our home, so...
And you just thought of this about 20 minutes before coming on.
No, I thought of it last night.
Oh, okay, last night.
But, I mean, we only have so much stuff, right?
Okay.
So in our home, we don't even have shower curtains, so I couldn't even steal anything from there, but I did have one. So here's what I always do, is, see, makeshift. But this is t-shirts ripped up, if anyone saw our post before. What does t-shirts have to do with Tuesday training? I had to get here. So
I've come downstairs because I'm setting up the camera and stuff like that earlier. And I come downstairs into the bathroom and Tiffany has a knife and an old white t-shirt and she's cutting it into little pieces. And she's tying the t-shirt up to the top of the shower curtain.
It worked. Whatever, it worked. I'm telling you, redneck.
If there's one thing that Tiffany is, it's very resourceful.
I am resourceful. So yeah, this is my point though. And I'm going to show you something else about those. Normally there's at least hooks. So I brought a curtain, but I didn't bring hooks. Anyways.
People are laughing, giving you thumbs up, lots of laughs.
Whatever. Yeah, we do what we got to do, right? Here's what I do in a showing. So here, let's back up.
Okay.
I go out and in the hallway, I show people the nice part. I say da-da-da, and you know, look at this, look at that. And then I say to them, okay, ready to see the worst spot in this house? And they go, okay.
Okay, so hold on here. I just want to make this clear. You're walking them through doing a showing, and then you actually ask them this question.
Yeah.
Do you want to see the worst
spot in this
this house? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then they normally go, okay, yeah, sure. And then they're all freaked out, right? So they've got expectations up here that's going to be just totally
or way down there, right? Like they're expecting something horrible.
Totally horrible. So I walk them in, and I said, okay, this is the worst part of the bathroom. Now, what do I have here before they get here? I have a shower curtain up. I normally have like these pleated ones, or I get them on Amazon. Used to get them at Walmart. But something funky, something like nice but white, okay? Clean, open, white. Here, I have something funky, and again, resourcefulness, I'm gonna show you what I mean. So, again, tenant demographic, who's your demographic? Now, this is a purse hanger thingy my friend got for me. Anyways, I'm gonna have something like hooks that are funky and cool. Okay?
Yeah, so you don't normally rip up t-shirts, right?
I don't normally rip up t-shirts. This is a wine bottle opener from our bar, but you know, it might be something like this.
Right.
Attracts attention. This, I remember one, it looked like old brooches and they were bigger.
Yeah.
They were kind of like that, and the older people loved it. But my point is, like muffin tin, my point is, who are you talking to? What's going to attract them? You can get big, beautiful, funky, neat shower curtain knobs. Put them on there. So the first thing they walk into, before you've pre-warned them that it's going to be ugly and awful, you've walked them in and they see, oh,
they see
this
beauty.
isn't too bad. This isn't too bad, right?
Yeah.
Like for what I was expecting. And then I go, okay, ready? Okay. And then I go like this. And I go, there's the worst. As you can see, it'll be clean though. I mean, we're gonna make sure it is immaculately clean. So I say, it's perfectly clean. It's sanitized. It's
everything works perfectly fine.
Works, but it's not beautiful. But anyways, we put up the shower curtain and it's yours to keep. And again, with the funky knobs of some sort. And then I get them the heck out of this room and we move on to another part of the house. Now,
Awesome.
when I do an move-in inspection, they're fully prepared for that. They know that I've shown it to them, I've pre-warned them, and they've taken it based on knowing full well, and I haven't deceived them in any way, but I've given them a tool that I've left, usually costs me about 50, 60 bucks max, to get something really nice and cool. Yeah, and it takes nastiness, right? Like now walk into this room.
Well, the hooks are hanging. It doesn't look that great.
Okay,
It's just a white shower curtain.
But it is way
But
better.
still, it's better. So what's the
that's
point?
better.
The point in this, guys, is in this particular case, that cost, what, 30 bucks for a shower curtain, if that?
If I go super funky and super, super nice, it'll be 60 bucks. If
Okay,
not,
so
it'll be
60
like
bucks
30.
for a shower curtain and maybe, what, $40 for the hooks?
No, like 20, 25 max.
20? Okay, so
No,
under
in
$100 in total.
In total, it's
Put a
50
good
60
shower
bucks.
curtain, good hooks on there. It totally changes the
Distract.
looks of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And again, the key to all this is how Tiffany set the stage. She lowered expectations before even walking in. And that's kind of the key. If you're walking in and just saying, wow, you got to see this bathroom, it's absolutely amazing. And then they come in and see this bathroom, even with the nice hooks and the nice shower curtain, they're going to be like, oh, this isn't that great. But when their expectations are super low and they come in and see it, then they're like, wow, that's not bad at all. I was expecting way worse.
Okay, so hopefully that makes sense and hopefully that gives you a tip. I've used it a lot for many years and it's always good. So one other thing I want to show you, and again, today's just Corey wanted some semblance of order in today, but I'm like, no, as we go through this place, I'm just going to show them the things that we've learned. So anyways, this is a paint marker. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but how many of you guys have seen sinks that it's perfectly fine, it works great, it looks good, but there's a ding in it. So it goes from a nice white porcelain sink to having like a black mark in it. Just one little like tiny chip in it, right? Like what do? Do you replace the whole sink for that and you get a plumber in and it's just a pain, right? Then you put it in the wrong vanity and it doesn't quite fit and you can see the edges around it, or do you get a whole new vanity like for a stupid chip? Well, guess what? Here's another tip. This one doesn't have one, so you can whatever. But you use this paint pen and you can just paint it and it dries as what is it called?
Enamel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This also works on fridges or stoves or whatever. And again, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it's been touched up. But when you only see it when you're looking at it up close. It just makes everything look a whole lot cleaner. Like, is it the best quality landlord tip? No. But you know what? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get yourself through to the next stage. And it's these little things that cost $6 that help you. So this is in all of our little toolkits.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's these little things, guys, that make the difference between every time you're going in to do something, if you're spending thousands of dollars, or maybe you're spending hundreds of dollars or less. And when you're doing that on a regular basis, once a year, once every few years, when you're going into your properties and switching out tenants, if you're having to spend thousands of dollars every time, that eats up your cash flow big time.
Yeah.
But if you can get away with doing some of these smaller things, even though, you know, it's not absolutely perfect,
And I don't love
it allows you to stay in the game so much longer.
That's right.
And that then allows you to turn your real estate into wealth.
And here's the deal. If these things were going to prevent me from getting a tenant, a good tenant, or delay me getting a tenant, I will put the money into changing it, to get a new sink, do whatever you have to do. I will put the money into changing it because it's important. So I'm not talking about big things. I'm talking about those little things that add up. That's when you can make the decisions to do these little things. But again, don't hide it from your tenants. Tell them and show them. Like I've even said to them before, and I don't do this anymore because it doesn't come off. Now I know that.
What's the name of that pen? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but
no. It's an Artline 400 XF paint marker.
Okay, just a paint marker.
You get them at Home Depot, Reno,
yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
It marks on steel, rubber,
There you go, Harry.
timber, plastic.
Awesome. And yeah, there's a comment about doing that on furniture and touching up furniture and stuff like that. We have an awesome tool for that too. We don't have it here with us, I don't think. But we'll share that in another training.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's darker. Okay, so shall we, I'll show you quickly this one. Now I didn't do it with this one.
Yes, Grant, you're right. Not cheap, but thrifty, investment minded. That's right.
Is that what it's called, Grant? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this here, I didn't do it, but I'm just going to show you again how you can be innovative. I have another one to show you upstairs. We have another place that had this kind of set up, and it was the people who I really wanted were she had kids. She had like three or maybe even 4 kids, but I really wanted them in my property, and we had lived in that house before. So, and we had this under the stairs thing that went like that. And our little guy was 5 years old when we were in that house. So we had taken black fabric and we'd put it along the sides, and we had spray painted with glow in the dark spray paint, hairspray, glow in the dark hairspray, and made these stencils with Batman, and then put a purple light in there. So we called it the Batman Cave because he was into Batman. Remember that?
Yeah.
So,
that was fun.
So it was awesome, yeah. So we had like purple lights and all these Batman, everything everywhere, and it was just black fabric. So then when she was looking at that place, I was like, I'm gonna send you a picture of that. I had to go to my computer and find it in those days and all that. I sent her a picture of it. She took the place because she was like, oh my goodness, my kids are all over this. So we advertised it after that as a Batman cave, and I put that picture in there and be like, here's the coolest spot of this house. You can play with your kids in the Batman cave. And trust me, it kept them busy for hours, giving me my sanity. But be creative. What does this look like to you? It's under stair storage.
Yeah. Usually you'll see paint cans in there, or you know, extra carpet and that kind of stuff, and it's not really used, or people throw their bikes and junk in there, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's go upstairs.
Okay.
I have a couple more things to show you, and then we shall let you go.
The Bat Cave was awesome. Jasmine remembers it.
Yeah, so good.
Okay, we're going. We're coming. Yeah. It takes a second when we go around corners.
Okay. Okay, here's a couple things.
What do we see in the kitchen?
When you take your flooring out, anyways, you've got your flooring out. If you've got squeaks in the floor, which there still are some, but it's not as bad, put a few screws in. Just drive some screws into the plywood. You wouldn't believe what a difference it makes.
But this isn't the floor that the tenants are going to see, right?
No, there's vinyl plank going on top of it. So
yes, okay, good.
Good point.
Yeah, if there's squeaks, just stick screws in.
Oh, sorry. You're putting new floor on top of it.
Yes,
Anyway.
okay.
Okay, tenant demographic, coming back to this. Notice the color of the cabinets. This will tell you whether
These
or not
are
this was
original
the place.
cabinets, so these cabinets really are like 50 years old.
No.
Almost 40 some years old.
Oh my goodness.
This place was built in the 70s.
Okay, so
So
Wayne, is this the place that Gabby lived in? Because these cabinets would be very specific to this place, so you would remember it. But anyways, we were debating tearing them out. Now when we sell the place, we probably will tear them out and put in a new kitchen. It's not many cabinets, it won't be that expensive. But for rental, I'm not gonna get my money back on that right now, or my dad's not gonna get his money back on that right now. So we're leaving these cabinets in, but we've gone with, it's kind of that earthy feel. I don't know if you can see the color. Again, This is kind of that fake butcher block we're thinking of putting in.
The thing about it, guys, too, is that if these cabinets were falling off, or the hinges, you know,
Yeah,
the doors were
not,
chipped,
like,
or
well,
there
they're
was
not
chips in
beautiful
the
inside.
countertop, or any of that kind of stuff, that would be different. But they are actually in near perfect condition.
They're in great condition.
And
We'll touch up
same with the
this.
countertop. So yeah, a little bit of touch up. We changed the handles on them, that kind of stuff, and it modernizes them. And again, for the rent that we're going to get out of this place, putting in a new kitchen, putting in new cabinets, putting in thousands of dollars extra is not going to increase our cash flow. It's going to lower it. So there's no sense in doing it at this point.
Oh, it's going to lower it because we will have had to recover from putting in the money.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the
don't
more
get
money
any
you
more
put
money
into
for
a
it.
property, the lower your return on investment typically is going to be, assuming that you're not really raising the value or raising your rent income. And changing the cabinets in here is not going to make a difference of whether we rent this for $1,050 or $1,075 or $1,100. So
even like to put a new stove in, it's going to cost us $400.
Gabrielle says those are the cabinets.
No way. Crazy.
That is crazy.
Insane. What a small world. Yeah, well, there you go. So it's getting a facelift finally.
See, it's always attracted high quality tenants.
There
We
we
talk
go.
about this
You see
all the
that?
time, guys. The purpose
See
of
that?
attracting high quality tenants.
Okay, I wanted to show you this. This fridge, I can't even see it. Maybe it was here? We got this fridge for like major discount, I can't remember. Brand new, delivered, because it was a scratch and dent, but the scratches were on the side. So actually, I think it was on this side because we knew it was going to go against cabinets. Yeah, here's a dent here. Anyways,
Okay.
Great way to save money. Doesn't, like, tenants have put a couple dings in it now, but it was good, but we saved probably $300 and it was a brand new fridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Danielle, yes, once we're all done, we will show you what the finished product ends up looking like, because it's a little tough to tell. Where it's in the middle of a renovation, it's messy in here for one, and the flooring is not in, the baseboards aren't on, the lighting has not changed yet. So we'll show you guys what it's going to look like when we're all finished.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about where we will get a return on investment. And this is, again, just our opinion, but if you take a look at the lights.
Okay, we're looking up at the kitchen first.
Okay,
Yeah.
that one is hideous. But look at
Okay.
these ones.
Yeah. Okay, that's one hideous light, and there's another one. Okay, again, these lights are 40 plus years old, right?
And they're cool. They're actually kind of cool. They're coming back, but they're going to cheapen this place. This is not the right place, even if they're retro and whatever. These
big
lights,
front entrance light here. Okay.
as you can see, the lights in here are seen from everywhere you are, whether you're in the living room, you're in the kitchen, you walk in, the lights are seen and can be beautiful, can be amazing. So where are we going to get a return on investment? In this case, we're going to do some funky unky lights. I don't know what yet. We're
Funky
gonna find them.
unky. I love it.
Funky unky lights. I don't know. Yeah, so where can we get a return? Would our kitchen get us a return? I don't think I'd rent it any quicker or for any more money. So we're leaving that until we sell. However, again, my tenant demographic wants funky, they want trendy, they want, like, I don't know, like some wow, some pizzazz, and some status, right? Remember, people buy a lot based on status, and lighting can really change the status. So again, when we pick what we picked, we'll show you, we'll put them up, and we'll take another tour.
So here's the deal. If we went out and put in brand new stainless steel fridge and stainless steel stove, high quality, spent thousands of dollars, it's not going to do as much as if we change these 4 lights and we put a new faucet on that sink.
Oh yeah, okay.
If we do those 2 things, change the lighting and change the faucet, and we spend way less money, it's going to completely change the feel of this kitchen. It's going to completely, if I'm standing here, and I know you guys can't see me right now, but I'm standing here, you can see all 4 of these lights all at the same time. And all 4 of those being different, new, funky, it's going to completely change the feel of this place. Yeah. And then when they walk into the kitchen and they see a fancy faucet sitting here.
Okay, so here's the deal with this. So these faucets, like, what's wrong with it? Nothing. It works just fine, I'm sure. Like, everything's fine. But does it add anything? No. And you know what? A faucet is actually where you can get some real good pizzazz nowadays for very little money. There's Costco on Costco.ca or whatever, the online. you can get tons of really awesome faucets for $120, $150 max. And you can install them yourself. I've installed them myself. For one, get a single lever. Don Campbell taught us this years ago. Single lever, there's washers in each of these things, and here, all of these washers have a tendency to go. It's not a big fix, but again, it's maintenance. It's things you have to take care of. If it's single lever, it's one washer, one thing to go wrong. So even if you get a cheaper faucet, like if you get like an $80 one or whatever at, Rona or whatever, and it's just single lever, just make sure to get not 2 taps, but just one of those single lever things. This, it's gotta go. Probably a tenant put it on, but
maybe Gabrielle did.
Maybe Gabrielle did. She is a practical girl, so actually, I would put one of these on in my house too. But for showings, that's gotta go. Anyways, funky, we're gonna do something funky here. It's gonna be funky. This is now gonna fit because the funky kind of color of cabinets might just detract.
Funky,
together.
yes.
Funky with the floors, lots of light, white on white. Okay, last thing I'm gonna show you.
Okay, last thing, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
How are we for time?
Good.
Sorry guys, I'm trying to be quick. Okay, so this closet, I won't go in because you probably won't be able to see anything I do.
Okay, so you can see the closet, just a pantry. No, we're good.
Okay, so this is a pantry, but what I've always told people when there's something like this, a nice big closet, pantry or whatever, we've had tenants in places like this, like use this area here for your pantry. There's tons of storage and people go, oh wow, yeah, lots of storage. Oh yeah, it's nice and bright. Yeah, so use this area for storage. But guess what? This is an awesome little office. So now you've added on a third little spot for yourself, and it's a perfect place to organize a little home office. And I've had more people do that, again, like the Bat Cave. I've had more people take that and go, you're right, and they'll put an office in their oversized pantries. We have a lot of coach homes, and our coach homes all have these big pantries. So a lot of them do it, and they're like, it's perfect, because now they bought themselves an extra bedroom for the same price as what a 2-bedroom will go for. So be creative. If you see a tenant do something cool, pass it on to your next tenants. That's it.
Awesome. So using spaces like under the stairs or in the pantry as extra spaces, either kids' playrooms or home office space or whatever. The thing is about being creative, and as you're doing the walkthrough, put those ideas in the minds of the tenant. And now when they go away and they're comparing your place to another one, they think, well, but that place has that awesome kids' play place, or that has that bat cave, or that place actually has that extra area that I could use as an office. And they're thinking about all these little things just because you put it in their mind. Super, super important.
Dining rooms, like when there's the trend a few years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago, was to make this private dining room, and a lot of people would put doors on it. I advertise that not as a dining room, but in same floor, closable playroom. Because I know what it's like to have your kids down in the basement, and but you want the chaos and the toys out, but you want the kids nearby, so it's a catch-22. So advertise that as a playroom, and that works awesome too. So be creative. So I'm going to recap a few of the things that we went through.
Okay, do we want to come back here, or
sure,
or what?
You mean you don't want the
no,
closet?
No, it doesn't matter. Okay. People are seeing all the Budweiser everywhere too.
That's my dad. Hey, gotta make it fun. Okay, my dad's gonna kill me. I'll tell you the truth. Corey and I each had one of my dad's beers.
Yeah, those are actually from us.
Like
so
half of one each. But okay, so first point was offer your services for free. This property gave us so much experience. Yes, it was over 20 years, but it gave me the confidence to talk to people as a joint venture partner, because I could actually speak to, oh, well, what I do normally is this or do that, or because I actually had some experience. So if you're lacking experience, volunteer to help another investor out. Secondly, when you're renovating, are you renovating to sell it or are you renovating to rent it? Big differences, and it will also change your decision. So as you go then and say, well, what are we going to do for this? How will that affect the sale, or how will that affect the rental? If it won't, you're going to drop it. Your tenant demographic, you're going to renovate for your tenant demographic. So you're not going to, again, this place has so many stairs and only one bathroom. I'm not going to have older people in here. I know that already, so I'm going to renovate it for who I will have, which is probably, and has been traditionally, I'm sure, like even with Gabby, you know, young people that are trying to make their way in life but want decent places to live. Oh, be creative in your spaces. Advertise and stage in a creative way, you know, for making your pantry an office, making your storage, under storage, you know, a Batman cave. And then don't hide the ugly parts of your home. Somehow make them nicer, distract from them. I've put big bamboo trees in this one spot where there had been this old, like abandoned kind of chimney that was like floor to ceiling. It was this big ugly pipe for no reason. It was just sitting there. So we put this big fake bamboo tree. And then I showed it to them though, and I said, we're leaving this for you so that you can keep this tree. And here you go, this is why. Don't wait for them to find it out on their own, because that's just going to create a bad relationship with them, and your tenants are your assets, they are your friends, and you need to treat them as such. And next week we're going to be back here at 7 p.m. Tuesday trainings. Random topic today, no semblance of order, but hopefully we've been able to share some of our experience and some of the decision making and thinking that goes into some of these things.
Awesome. So let's just do this for a second before we go off. Oh, did I press the wrong button? Okay, no, here we go. All right, so let me stick this back up here so you can be back with everybody. And here we go, guys. Okay, so one other thing I just wanted to add to whatever Tiffany just mentioned there is be very, very cost conscious, guys. And we see this mistake made so often when it comes to renovations is people try to make it really wow, and they wow with the floor, they wow with the walls, they wow with the doors, with the handles, with the lights, and everything becomes, well, it's just a little bit more for this and it's just a little bit more for that, and everything ends up being a little bit more, and the whole cost goes from $5,000 to $15,000, and it can happen so fast. And at the end of the day, that difference of $10,000 is not going to raise your rent. It comes out of your pocket and it lowers your return on investment.
So choose a couple things.
Choose a few things to wow.
Get some wow.
Lighting, faucet. You know, the flooring that's going in here is not high-end hardwood or tile. This is vinyl plank and carpet.
Commercial stuff.
So just be careful when it comes to doing renovations. You don't need to blow the cost out of the water, and be very picky and choosy as to what you replace. Like Tiff said, sometimes just a shower curtain can cover up an ugly tub, ugly tile, that kind of stuff. So just be very cost conscious when you're doing these kind of things.
All right.
Awesome.
That's it, guys.
Okay, guys. Thoughts on the popcorn ceiling, Harry asks?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so again, I'd love to get rid of it. I hate it. Not only that, this one could actually use a painting because it hasn't been done, again, in 20 years. But for the cost, actually, we probably would have gotten it done because it doesn't cost much to get someone to come in and spray it, but didn't plan it right, and so we're leaving it. Would I love to get rid of it? Yeah, but for the headache and the work and the cost of it, I'm not going to get any more rent. Now, when I sell it, I may. Again, I'll have to look at who my demographic is.
See, and that's the thing. When we go to sell it, when you're selling it, you're now determining, am I going to increase the value of the property?
Yeah.
So when you're
sell it quicker.
Yeah, when you're doing a renovation to rent, you're doing, am I going to increase the value of my monthly income of my rent? Is the rent going to go up by doing this? And when you sell, the value of the property is taken into consideration. So they're different considerations. So make sure you keep that in mind. Awesome.
All right.
Good. Thanks, guys. Hopefully, I think I saw one question.
You're welcome, guys.
Patrick made a great comment about they've updated bathroom light fixtures from brass to a brushed stainless look with a can of spray paint. Exactly, Patrick.
Yeah,
and that's really all it takes sometimes is a can of spray paint. And it can make a huge difference. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, got a few tips out of it that you can put into practice for yourself, and we'll see you next week, next Tuesday.
New names too, which is awesome. So Thanks
awesome.
For joining us. We're
Thanks,
gonna jump
guys.
into our Ignited Leader session.
Yep.
So I'll see all you guys Igniteds over there right away here. Yeah.
Okay, take care, guys.
Okay.